Okay, I'm going to take out Preordain, and we're going to start here. So it's the same commander again, except it's way more red with just like the absolutely best blue cards. Actually, maybe Niv-Miz is an exception to that because it's triple blue, and this is the version of Thousand Year Storm that makes sense to me. Thousand Year Storm doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's just copying Rite of Flames isn't that necessary. So drawing a card with each Rite of Flame is very good. I'm going to try red Impulse Draw, so exiling the top and stuff. Probably looking to play the backside of Burgi, because I don't care too much about the floating red here. Doesn't seem that crazy to me, but I don't know. Burgi in general just doesn't seem that great. It's not that quite that kind of deck. Still, the main issue is just getting elementals and casting them. Like, that hasn't changed. But I have found more interesting ones like this. You could Rite of Flames 10 times, and then suddenly you have a Banefire, but that Banefire also gives you a Rite of Flame, which is a bit odd. But I don't know. Ujin, there's enough cards in here that I think it makes sense. Paradox Engine. I crafted Cavalier. The looting is nice. The haste is okay, I guess. When it dies, you hit something for your lands in graveyard, which is not that high ever in this deck. But it could do something, I guess. But it's forced to stay because I did craft it. And yeah, so it's just more of a red all-in Rite of Flames. We're never interested about take inventory. And we shall see. Oh, and there's a lot more mountains, as one would assume, but I don't think it's quite Valakut level mountains. It's kind of a green thing, to be honest with you. We shall see. This is nice, but it is a bit slow for a Katara deck. It's hard to just play 4-drops. Wait, what? I must admit, that's a bit different. That is a bit different. Well, they're probably going to counter my commander, because that's the only other thing Katara does when it doesn't cast its commander, which they don't seem interested in doing. And I didn't draw Cavernous Souls. So we can play Faceless Agent, because it replaces itself, if it were to resolve. And it feels kind of bad to counter it. Okay. Maybe they're not paying attention, and they think this is Cavernous Souls. How's it going? I don't know yet. We're about to find out. Hopefully good. These chicken nuggets are good. Alright, protection spell is obvious. And the reason, or rather, probably a huge reason to have cast their commander is because they can completely ignore my commander or have some kind of Frogify, and then the game just ends on the spot. So, just don't sandbag it. No. Okay. Boop. Wait, what? Does that work? I feel like that doesn't work too well. Wow. I just got through a cryptic command. Hello. That's actually insane. 5, 6. That's just insane. Okay. Beautiful. I wish I could grape shot, but this is obviously leagues better than grape shotting. Wow. Okay. Well, that was very good. Oh, was I on the play or draw? It's another commander where, like, well, not only it being green, but it also does what I'm trying to do, but it does it for free. Whereas I have to, like, play cards like this. It just, like, does the storm thing for free. Okay, well, I need, ideally, a land, but if I don't get one, I guess I do have the mana in some regard. A land would be nice. Oh, look at that. Mox Amber. Great. Of course I don't draw a land, and that probably means the game is over because I can't cast my commander. Probably means it's completely over. That's my guess anyway. So I do have the One Ring. This is gone until they cast it again, which they can technically do next turn, I guess. Oh, look, a land, just in time. I'm not particularly interested in casting the One Ring. I'd rather just play my commander. And if you can kill me, I don't care. I just move on with my life. Boring commander. If I drew any of my cool stuff, we might have been chilling here. Might have sort of been chilling. This replaces itself because I get to cast this thing. Alright, I cast cards. What do you got? Sure. Didn't have a fetch land last turn. Doesn't have one now. We take, so far, 4. Wow, they just don't have it. Beautiful. Wow, they also just couldn't swing. Wow. Really? Alright, well. I kind of want to unable to scream this. But then this could kill me. With the warp thing. 5. Oh, it doesn't have trample, though. It does not have trample. It's a tough one. Okay. Doesn't have trample. I'm going to hide for 1 extra turn. I think there's value in that. And I should take it if I can recognize it. Especially if it gets me closer to this. Yeah, and we didn't die here. We would have died. We would have died if it wasn't for what we did. So Pac can swing for 7, which is fine. I'm not really sure what lands to get except the Capenna fetch lands. They do not get Capenna fetch lands. Interesting. I would have. Oh, right, it's 9. It's not 7. I forgot Pocket was a green card. It can do whatever it wants. Okay, well, I've been provided way too much time to not play this here. I think I'm drawing. I think I'm just drawing here. I would like to hit a land, but just simply drawing cards is good. I have like 1 more turn anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Like, my next turn is probably my last turn. Missed a land drop again. Missed a land drop once more. They can swing for, like, probably 2,000 here. Maybe even more. Doesn't feel like it makes sense for them to play Buried Desert, or whatever it's called. The one that exiles graveyards. Because it doesn't replace itself like Field of Ruin. They swung with Pock. There was no reason to do that. In fact, this as a blocker could have actually been very significant, because both of these scale with my spells, and this was a very large blocker. It might have been a mistake there. I guess the Harmonizer is a infinite on my turn with fetch lands, so maybe it's fine. But still, there's no reason to swing, obviously. It doesn't do anything. Yeah, they should not have swung with that. That was a mistake. What is it? What is that? Sack this land, destroy target on his end. May search somewhere. Oh, okay. Sure. That doesn't really matter. I don't even really know why they did that, to be honest. Okay, I found a land. I don't believe I can reasonably get Niv Mizzet and play this turn. Blue, blue, blue. I mean, I can, but then I might run out of mana. Also, the end stone is almost the exact same, except it's colorless. Opponent forgot they had fetch lands. Interesting. Okay, let's lead with that. And get rid of Niv Mizzet is hard to cast. It's really hard to cast here. Wow, this is difficult. Alright. I could have just declined it, to be fair. Could have declined it there. Which, oddly enough, I continuously do, in fact, decline that. Which is funny. This leaves me with 1 mana left. How do I get this in play and also cast stuff after? That's the main issue here. Cast it, and then I'm out of stuff. Yeah, again, if I cast it, I can't do anything after. I'm gonna get rid of Niv Mizzet at this point. There's a land. Okay, so now I can cast it? Still. Same problem. I'm not going to discard anything. That finds an elemental. I think I'm better off just casting this because it gives me a guaranteed massive explosion of spells, as opposed to just like risking drawing something I can't cast and I just lose. Okay, I can remove their blocker. Oh, no, I can't. They can crack a fetch land. Discard a card? This land. Okay. Let's cast this, naming Elemental. Okay. Let's cast this here. I'm just gonna, like, rope out on my turn. Do I have a creature in the graveyard that I can reanimate? No. I'm out of mana, that's the problem. I'm just out of mana. They still did this. I don't really know why, but they did do that. Deals damage equals power. Yes! What does this do? Okay. It does stuff. I need a blue land. I'm just now noticing. Unfortunately, this is not a mono-red commander. I guess that land is arguably useless, because I can't play more than one land a turn. I'm not a green deck. Okay, gonna put my commander in play, but it is a deck that could have removal in it. We got Chainer? Okay. Guess I'm taking 11. Why does it have trample? Oh, it specifically gives trample. Well, that's kind of gross. That's like the best creature for this deck, is it gives it the stats and gives it trample. That's just nuts. I can't imagine most things in the graveyard would do that exact thing. Jeez. That is kind of nuts. Okay, let's play, here we go with having to think about stuff. Hey, do I have time for Roaming Throne? Let's see, 1, 2, 4, red. Nope, I don't. I don't. But I think I'm probably moderately interested in something pertaining to Grape Shot this turn, so. Okay. Maybe I can just limitless rekindling instead. Ability or another elemental could trigger. So I should get 2 Rite of Flames from this? Okay. I don't want to discard. No, no. Which means I also don't want to discard to Cavalier either. There's Cavalier not doing anything. It's probably safe to shock myself, because, like, I'm all in anyways, right? Well, that doesn't help you with priority, because unfortunately, you still have to hold it. Alright, they're over it. Get 2 red mana? Also, against that last opponent, I did have lethal. So, I don't know if I would have seen it, but I did actually have lethal. It makes sense to concede, I'm an idiot. Okay, well, I gotta play this, I guess. The Urchin only taps for elementals, though. It doesn't let me cast Rite of Flame. And a server rack player reading a mana rock. That's new. That is new. Alright, well, it's in play. And I can cast it again and again and again. So, hopefully they're distracted by killing it and not playing mana rocks. But, yeah, I had an infinite red mana, and I had enough in play where Cavalier would have killed my opponent. Killing this is not super productive because I just keep getting Rite of Flames. So it's not the best idea. The Rite of Flames scale. Or I should just say I wouldn't do that, but obviously I'm not my opponent. I don't even have to cast the first one. Actually, I can just cast this twice. There's no really keeping this off the field. At some point, it starts to get so crazy, it outscales commander tax. So, it's not the best way of going about it. I could also just get hosed by, whatchamacallit. Yeah, this is not a winning line. I suppose it buys him time, but I wasn't doing that much anyways, honestly. Well, they got a land, but it doesn't tap for mana. As far as I'm aware. They just have to find Paradox Engine, is like the entire idea of this deck here. And One Ring doesn't save you, so... Just start to scale these, I guess. And then, do I cast this one into red, red, red? Nope. I don't. So we have our commander again, if they kill it again. Okay, now I don't. Now I don't. Yep, whatever. Removal, 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 removal. Did I mention removal? They did leave me with One Ring, I guess. So it would be amazing to have access to that talisman, but I don't. I think I'm going to tap the One Ring, assuming I can continue to play the game after. They've had literally nothing but removal. Oh wait, I guess the One Ring, this dungeon doesn't have anything in it that kills me. Right, it doesn't make you lose one life over and over. I would trust my opponent to have some way of killing me though, through the that. Alright, we're only after like one thing here, and that's a mana rock. So I can cast Engine myself and then not have anything to do after. I just have nothing to do after. But I might as well. I might as well. You know? There it is. But I have nothing. It's really just a matter of, do they find Paradox Engine? And if they do, we lose. I don't have a win next turn if I don't, like, have it, so. They're digging. Digging, digging. Can they get to the bottom one? They might be able to do the bottom one right now. It's kind of nice to see a Resurrect not always have Paradox Engine. That's pretty cool. For once. Yeah, maybe there was lethal damage in that Tifa game. Maybe. With the second urchin. Opponent didn't make me show him. I might not have seen it. Well, clearly I didn't see it. Alright, I'm going to draw off this mana dork. I think that's worth it. Alright, they didn't have it, but I do need more mana. That isn't it. That's not what I meant. Do I just pitch this entire hand to Ox? Mana rock, please! What do you want from me? Blue. Might still just be chillin'. I could just grab Grape Shot. No, 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 no. Nope. Nope. Shuffle. Casting this does like work, and it can be difficult to interact with this, actually. Maybe this works? Almost didn't see it. Right? Because I can just pick it up. They didn't kill it. I think I got it. Beautiful. Look at that. I just did the Asura rack thing, except I don't have to venture through a dungeon. Quite a significant merger. Okay. Look at that. Look at that fury. Look at it sit there. I'm gonna get rid of Urabrask. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, no, sure. Okay. I got a little confused. Like, is it doing something we don't like? Okay, yeah, sure. I'm gonna kill that with, I guess, this card? Maybe this, because I need cards in the future. Maybe I should keep that, actually. Please counter this. I didn't play Cavern for a reason. Okay, thank you. Let's do this on blue. They will counter that. Fortunately, it doesn't matter, so I'm just going to cast. I think I'm going to grab a take inventory. Yeah, that's what I thought. Get wrecked. Get Schmied. It'd be a shame if you lost to a single land. Mono blue deck. I don't have a 2-drop. That is interesting. Maybe I didn't want that, actually. Alright, well. Rip. Ah, yes. Cityscape Leveler. Bask in my grinning Ingus. So I can cast my commander, get Rite of Flame, but I have to pass, unfortunately. I guess I can get a second Rite of Flame. What if I just cast this instead? Yeah, this is better. This is better here. Did I play a land already? I did. Alright, yeah, that was slightly better, I think. They didn't flip it back. I guess there's no reason to flip it back. Doesn't that need haste? That's just a straight-up Atali. Wow. Did not expect to see someone just cast Atali today, but there you go. That's pretty cool. So I have, I think, infinite red now. It's just a matter of killing my opponent. Alright, they're over it. That is safer. I'll go the safe line and not die to Fatal Push. Oh, they're gonna stifle it? Oh, they didn't stifle my effigy? Why not? Why didn't you understand? Why didn't you do that? Opponent. Why didn't you do that? Let's grab the one ring. Oh. Okay. I guess not. Alright, get in there, effigy. Once more. The old repeating shocks. Oh, I was kind of hoping they would stifle the the thing there. I think they had I think they do have a stifle, so they didn't use it, but I think they have a stifle. Champion tap. When a furious champ. I can respond to that, right? It doesn't just tap them? Okay. Okay. Interesting. I feel like I've played this extremely well so far. Navigated this spaghetti space. Alright, well, we're in the spot where removal is not quite good enough. But it could slow me down. But I have so much mana that obviously we can spam cast my commander. So, opponent doesn't even bother trying to stop it. I don't blame them. I'm gonna just lead with this? No, I think they're interested in stopping this, and I would prefer them counter it. Because they're seeing what it's doing. There is reasons to counter this one drop. They didn't counter it. Wow. Alright, Rite of Flame. And then cast this thing. Rite of Flame. I wish this was a bit more impactful before I cast it, but I guess there's nothing I can do about that. I'm just going to cast it now. Rite of Flame. Opponent's waiting to make their move here. I respect that. Unfortunately, they know the last card in my hand is this, so let's go to combat. And yeah, pass. I'm just going to pass. I don't feel like there's a major incentive to cast this. They literally did nothing. So that wound up being perfect. Alright, I think I played that really, really well. Ashling is good. I guess I won't shuffle that. Mox Opal. So far, looking like a different kind of deck to me. Let's get rid of this fetch land, because they're drawing another. Just get through that ponder, I guess. Let's play the... Sweet! Look at that. Look at that. The mana dork was better than the mana rock. We win. Get rid of Kiln Fiend? Yeah, we can end stone. We can end stone here. This is actually very significant. Look at that. World first. Oh, a little too late. Imagine they were on the play with Thoughtseize. That'd be quite significant. I have to take inventories, because I can't do anything else. Okay. Yeah, I'll take the time to cast that. Maybe I can do 1 and 1. And then do this. And then do this. 1 and 1. Well, good old Soul Ring, you know, doing things. Discarding a take inventory is almost the same as simply casting it. Okay. Dark Ritual. Let's say pay 2? Okay. Nice blue-black control deck. It'd be a shame if I had Soul Ring turn 1. Ooh, man, that was, wow, that was, I mean, that was so explosive. I had time to take inventory, too. Okay, well, it's alright. I'm on the draw. Ah, well, it is what it is. I mean, I represented Lightning Bolt so hard that they're just always going to respect it. Yeah, we can play this, actually. Get rid of... I think I just get rid of the Serpent at this point, honestly. No, I can get rid of Urabrask, actually. No, let's get rid of that. Yeah. Opponent is running Snowlands. I can't use this mana this turn. Yeah, I can't use that mana, because I have to, obviously, not lose the game. So I have to do that. Okay, that's a pretty tame 5-drop. Oh, no, it's a naturalized. Never mind. Not so tame anymore. I'm so sick and tired of Rafellos. I'm so sick and tired of this card, dude. I'm not flipping this. I don't think I'm flipping it, at least. Yeah, I'm not flipping it. Okay. That's fine. Had they played a fetch land? No. Limmer's an interesting one, with apparently not many fetch lands. Opponent is like super max sweaty because they have half and half like forest and snow covered forest. I actually don't know why you do that. There's no Field of the Dead or anything. And apparently no fetch lands. Yeah, it just completely whiffed. There's just no fetch lands. So, do I flip it this time? I can probably flip it. Get rid of Urabrask. And then cast you. Engine. No, because then I'm out of stuff. So. Cast this thing? Engine. Deadly cover-up? Yeah. There's the sweat. You found it. I'm gonna hold on to that last Rite of Flame, I think. Alright. Get dunked on. Get absolutely dunked on, real fellows. Oh, amazing. Alright. Unfortunately, no untap land. Is this just for veto? Oh. Alright, well. Dark Ritual. Always an enjoyment to see. I'm gonna loot away this Ox here. I'm gonna play Thundering Stuff. Land? Okay. I almost got confused why I didn't swing with this. Obviously you don't swing with it. Pay... Yep. Okay, I can cast my commander. What if I cast Roaming Throne first? It's almost the same. It's almost the same. Blue, red, decline, decline. Well, I'm gonna have to draw eventually. I don't have an answer to Shieldred, though. Commander. I have a ton of mana, but Shieldred stops me from drawing. And that doesn't give trample. Relevant elemental? I do have a second Trampler, so maybe Cavalier does get there. But I can't be looting. I suppose I can loot twice before it would, you know, end my existence here. I drew Portal to Phyrexia. Oh my goodness. I have to discard? I didn't know that. Oh my god, I have to discard. I didn't know that. I thought I could say no. Alright, I threw the game. That's tragic. What I was supposed to do was cast Portal. They would lose Shieldred, and then I can still cast stuff? Is that even true? 1, 2, 3. Oh, is that true though? No, that's not true, because I spent a red... Okay, yeah, I punted. Okay. We actually won through this. If I didn't accidentally do that in discard, I did win this... Wait a minute. Instant or sorcery. Yeah. So if I did it the right way, I actually win this game. Cast my commander, I guess? They might not interact too well. And again, Rite of Flame makes you just recast it over and over. It's like just lightning bolt stuff. That's kind of it. So... Talisman... Land, this thing. I think I get a... You just get another island. I obviously have enough red mana, right? And then I can cast that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna swing. I don't feel like I'm losing next turn to Boomy showing up. Which I assume it will. Okay, it doesn't. Huh. I would probably play Boomy instead there. I mean, Roxanne is definitely an objectively better card. I can't refute that. I can just evoke Muldrifter. There's not really many reasons at all in my deck to not evoke it, so... Having it in play is kind of cool, I guess, but... I think I'll be fine. So we brainstorm before we Flamekin. Put these back. Like that. Cast you. Grab said Flamekin. Cast said Flamekin. Do I need witness protection? I don't think I do, but I guess it's fine to just keep it. It's fine. Lightning Bolt was a good draw. Let's see what's under the One Ring. Yeah, I'm gonna commit this Rite of Flame, actually. I'm gonna commit it. Ponder. Sure. Fabricate. Okay. Huge. Can't draw 2. Decline. I can't find the card in question, but let's get rid of that. And I will Witness Protection this thing and shut down a significant amount of my opponent's mana here. Oh, and I have leftover mana to Cavalier, so I can swing for a little bit more damage. Wow. Sammy. Opponent's respecting Stifle. This is the part of the game where I kind of wish fetch lands just weren't in the game, so we didn't have like these really long turn ones. Do I want this? It's something to do with my infinite mana. No, I don't know. It doesn't really feel that great at all. Let's name Elemental, because I don't have to shock myself. I feel like my commander's somewhat safe, but you know how it is with the Rite of Flame. Sure. Yeah, I'll cast it. Just get my first Rite of Flame. Can display infinite mana if it lives. If it dies, I can cast it again. Alright. Do we have Lightning Bolt? Let's cast you. Do the thing. And then try to just explode and win with this. Generate infinite mana, and then Banefire. Oh, opponent. You didn't make me show you anything. Also, literally, in this exact spot, if I didn't play a land, I'm out. So, I almost actually bricked myself. Of course, every time I have to read, my opponent's immediately keeping. Another vampire is... Okay. I don't think I've seen this before. Another vampire you control. Exile the top card. So, Kefka at home? Kefka, but only vampires? Okay. Nazis? Brainstorm? Inquisition? What is that? Is that the fairy one? Why would you do this in the turn I'm casting my commander? Wouldn't you just wait? Shouldn't you wait on this? I don't know. Oh yeah, Ego Drain exiles. You don't discard to it. They just 2-for-1 themselves. They got rid of Siphon Insight. Is that worth it? I'm not 100% certain I would have done that. Ego Drain is extremely aggressive. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play Ego Drain except Stick Fingers. That's extremely aggressive. What the heck is this thing? Rev the Tithe Weeb? Death Touch. What? What the... Okay, yeah, no, that's a legal play. Let's play you, because that's what we always do. Let's do this now. Let's do this. Helm of the Host is interesting. I can cast it, but I can't equip it. Unfortunately. Can't have everything. Okay, well, they have this. Whenever one or more creatures you control deals comes. Okay. Huh. Very strange. Ponder. Ujin. Oh, wow. Okay. So, decline. I think I'm going to combat first. 5, 6... No. There's still a window for them to counter a Rite of Flame, and I'd like to provide that window. Okay, they didn't make that happen, but I'm obviously casting the remove your creature card instead of Portal. No counter? No counter. Wow, alright. It's definitely anticipating one. Alright. Into the red zone we go. Wow, just nothing at all? What is going on? Okay, sure. What is that, double heist? Yeah, sure. It's like they had something, you know? Siphon Insight is gone. Oh, I gotta read this again. 4 mana 3/3 attack targets. Whenever one or more creatures deals combat damage. So it is just Ragavan on a Weeb stick. Alright. Weebavan. Why are her hands so tiny? Look at those little tiny hands. Look at those little tiny hands. So tiny. I hope they stole elementals. Not my elementals. This is not a great deck to heist from, I'll say that. What does this actually do? Okay. That's what it does. That is my witness protection. It's not theirs. Thieving thing, sure. Add 3? No, I'm going to threaten the ultimate. Well, it's not really much of a threaten because I can do that thing there. Alright, so let's do this. Let's play the go to combat game. That. Swing. I'll swing with this. I'll swing with that, because if they kill it, I get it back. Wise beyond their years. Let's get another Rite of Flame. And I think we will just commit the rights to Portal and 2-for-1 them. Oh, I actually get my commander back. Yeah. This is always better. Yeah. Okay, well, they were playing like Nicol Bolas Kefka at home. I don't think I've seen this before. So, with Infinite Red, the only ways to like generate Infinite Red also kind of just kill my opponent. So I don't really need this as a way to spend Infinite Red. With, let's say, Grinning Ingus, picking it up and redoing it over and over with this thing. You don't really need this to do it, but it's still an elemental, and if I don't have Infinite Red and have like 10 or something, this is still okay to cast. I guess you could also just do it for 1 less than your max, so you could cast the next Rite of Flame into something else. You could just cast it for 1 mana. to get a Rite of Flame, and it's just a funny dark ritual. So a lot of the elementals at their best are simply dark rituals. This seems absolutely way better than whatever the take inventory half could ever conceive of doing. Again, I think I'm talking about it the last time. Katara is literally take inventory, and all of your spells are take inventories in the command zone, or in your opponent's turn, because they're instance experience counters. So Katara is literally, you cast one take inventory, you cast the rest in your opponent's turn, and you cast them over and over. When you're able to do that, and you're probably going to want to go heavy into blue to do that, it's just going to be way, way better than trying to make take inventory work. I can't really see it working, especially after having played this. I cannot see it ever working. You're also restricted to playing like sorcery speed elementals, so I don't even think I'm gonna entertain that idea. Normally I like to explore everything, but I'm not feeling that one. I don't think that's a thing. Maybe it is with just counter spells and your opponent gives up because you cast like 3 counter spells in a row, or Witness Protection, Frogify, and they're like, alright, I can't do anything, I lose, but that won't have much to do with your sorcery speed draw card spells that aren't Katara swinging for free and playing the entire game on your opponent's turn. So, I don't think I'm gonna try that. I don't know. Maybe. With enough vodka, anything's possible. But Rite of Flame was really good. All of these being dark rituals, or very quickly better than dark ritual, is extremely good. Very good. I actually never got Godo, but to be fair, I'm not running Gamble, so it's kind of hard to just... Wait, I wasn't running Gamble, right? Yeah, no, I wasn't. It's hard to just get this. With Gamble specifically, it does make... Kind of. Not really. What is it? Rite of Flame? Not Rite of Flame. Past in Flames, excuse me. Past in Flames, all the spells in your graveyard have flashback. I was saying everything that we could think about that involves our graveyard would ideally ignore the Rite of Flames and treat them as if they have nothing to do with the graveyard. Because when you get rid of them, they generate less mana. So, while it's still a ton of mana to just get them out of your graveyard and cast them all, it's not that great. Mystic's Mastery actually just gives you, I think, 1 per, because they all get exiled, and then you cast them. So there's like none in your graveyard when you do it, ever. But with Past in Flames, each one you cast gives you 1 less than the last one, so it's like a reverse. But that's still a lot of mana, and I'm going to say probably more mana than you started with when you cast them all, before you cast them all. So with Gamble, you can do that, and that might be okay, but I don't know where that's going, right? I would maybe prefer Underworld Breach, so I have, like, something else other than instants and sorceries to pull out of the graveyard, because it's really just Grape Shot or Bust, it feels, with that kind of thing. I guess Limitless Rekindling is in here too, sure. But Gamble adds the ability to sometimes find a hard-casting giant thing and then just win with that thing. Now, it's still Gamble, you could discard it. But with Past in Flames lines, maybe, you know, because it has flashback itself, it's not like the worst thing to grab. But I didn't feel like I was winning exclusively by casting sorceries and instants, right? This is not a 1,000-Year Storm deck. It just isn't. It really isn't. I don't even know if Grape Shot is that right. It seems to be more as if it's a cast a lot of dark rituals and then do something with that. So, which is cool, right? That does mean it's kind of doing its own thing relative to the Storm decks that try to cast a bunch of spells, draw a bunch of spells, and all that. I had Niv Mizzet in here, the 6-mana one with the Curiosity combo. I wasn't running Curiosity, but I had the 6-mana Niv Mizzet. I can't remember the name. Perun? Or whatever it is. And it was a little hard to just get it in play and then also still cast any meaningful amount of Rite of Flames. So I just took it out. It wasn't hard to get 3 blue for it, I would say. But it was a little hard to cast it and then keep casting elementals after with Rite of Flames and, just draw, 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 draw. That's a little inconsistent and kind of shaky. But it would kind of pivot you into that thing that Ashling is doing. Ashling cost me a game, actually. It was funny because I didn't know this was a May clause, or a not May clause. You have to loot, and Shieldred killed me. I thought I could do it. I blundered that game. It was funny. But yeah, this loots, and Urabrask was kind of okay. Kind of. I don't know. It could just be like a random elemental, I feel. Could have just been a random elemental, honestly. And it would have just given me more mana to cast like a giant dumb thing instead of this, because it's not an elemental. In flipping, it's just not that exciting. It really isn't. I don't know if I even feel like this is right. I just doesn't feel right. Burgi didn't do anything, which I think I said in the intro. It's probably one of those decks that actually somewhat uses the horn, but also not really. I found it a little difficult to find cards to just discard because I want to keep my Rite of Flames in my hand. And then I also want to keep the things to cast with Rite of Flames. There's not a lot of things that are easy to discard, right? It's not a Faithless Looting deck. It's there's a lot of cards you would think are obvious, and then you play with them and you're like, oh, they're not that crazy. So I just don't like these two that much. I did end up liking Ox, and I will say, where is it? Cavalier giving my things haste did present lethal in like 3 to 5 games. I don't know how many exactly, but I had all those. Essentially, now they're not doing anything, quote unquote, elementals sitting around in play, picking their noses that I cast for all my Rite of Flames, and then suddenly they all have haste and I can swing. And with like 2 Rite of Flames at 7 and 8, you can make them very large attacking. Almost take. It's like build your own Jetmir almost with that, which I didn't anticipate happening, but it did happen. I didn't actually see it, but people were conceding to that on board. And I'm like, oh, why did they scoop? I didn't show them any lethal. But it was like actually Cavalier was in play with a bunch of elementals of Summoning Sickness. And I'm still casting Rite of Flames, so I actually had lethal. But my brain wasn't thinking about combat. I'm trying to do Rite of Flame dumb stuff. Yeah, I'm taking these 2 out. I don't know what the deck list is going to have in it when I upload it. But Galvanic Relay, you dump all of your... You dump all of your Rite of Flames to Storm, and then next turn you have all these cards, but you just cast all of your Rite of Flames, so it's a lot harder to cast these cards, especially because you have to pass the turn and hope your commander doesn't die again, and then it goes back to you, and now you have a big wad of cards that your commander is still in play, and you can start to do something with that involves generating more Rite of Flames, I guess, but you've already dumped all of the ones from last turn, which I don't like. I just don't like this card. I just don't like that card. I don't think I don't think it's an idea. This just really isn't a Storm commander. It doesn't feel like it's a Storm commander to me. It's a very strange deck. It really is. It feels like sometimes you win out of nowhere with just nothing. I never flung anything like Kiln Fiend or my commander or anything. If you have infinite looping Rite of Flames, this will just kill your opponent because it has trample. So you could just do whatever loop it is. If they have like 1,000 in play, you can loop 1,000 times. I mean, good luck doing that, but you could. Maybe the biggest pain point was just running out of cards. Wasn't that bad, but I did find myself in the back of my head thinking a few times, like, oh, if only I could make 1 or 2 take inventories just to draw into something. If the only thing you're doing is take inventory, you're in a position where you're probably losing, and I don't think take inventories a few times is going to undo that. Sometimes it can, but I don't think most of the times it will. Suppose having the option is better than not having the option, right? I don't believe Ruby Medallion is necessary, but it is basically mono red. You could just put it in here to discount things. It can't possibly be wrong. It doesn't discount Rite of Flames, though, but that's probably okay. But ideally, it you by the time Ruby Medallion is doing something significant, you've already displayed the ability to do that significant thing with just Rite of Flame spamming. Because if you're not doing that, then the Ruby Medallion is just simply a mana rock. Which, one could argue it's better than one of these mana rocks. It doesn't generate blue mana, which I think every single one of these did generate blue, which I would say is somewhat significant. Yeah. Generating blue mana is still valuable. You still need blue for this, right? If you have a bunch of mountains and Ruby Medallion, you can't then cast your commander. You need a blue source. So I don't know. I mean, you could put it in, just slide it in somewhere. I don't know. But I don't think Ruby Medallion was necessary. I really don't. But yeah, you really want to ignore, at least I thought, you would like to ignore Rite of Flame in the graveyard. So, like, just don't interact with your own Rite of Flames when they're in the graveyard. Just because they're there doesn't mean you want to cast them out of the graveyard or anything. Which makes Bedlam Reveler a bit okay, as opposed to Treasure Cruise, which would exile the Rite of Flames, and you don't really want to do that. So, no Delve cards. I don't like Passive Flames. I don't like Mizzix Mastery. Galvanic Relay is weird. Ruby Medallion's okay. But this is still way more successful than I thought it would be. I had a positive record. I got to all 15 wins of the day, which I don't even know the last time I did that. It's been a minute, I feel. Maybe not. But, yeah, maybe if this just... if it had more consistent tutors. I actually ended up taking out Solve the Equation because there weren't a lot of things to go grab, instants and sorceries, that I felt like were good to get with that card. So I think I'm willing to add Gamble. Actually, you know what? I think I'm willing to add Gamble. There's definitely Gamble lines in here. I'm sure there's something that isn't just Past in Flames that is good with Gamble, that if it goes to the graveyard, you're not upset that you, like, cast Entomb instead of Demonic Tutor or whatever, but I don't know what those are. But it could be blue. If it's only a blue thing, you could reasonably put in a blue, I don't care if I discarded it or not, kind of card in this deck and not be upset. Like, Commit to Memory. You could just full stop try Commit to Memory and have that maybe do something. Right? Like, you gamble for it. You lost it. Now you have a memory, and if you needed cards, there you go. You have a memory. It's not impossible to cast that. You could go even more all in on this and take out Strangle, Shove Aside, Lightning Bolt, Flame Slash, Witness Protection, Unable to Scry. You could take these out and add more elementals, more random card draw. You could very reasonably add was it Memory Deluge? Whatever the 4 mana with flashback card is, look at the cards and put them. Chart the Stars could go in here as well. Chart the Stars. You don't have a ton of lands, really. It's kind of just like a 1 land a turn kind of deck, but that's okay. Still just a cantrip that sees a fair amount of cards, right? And with Rite of Flames, you can pretty easily kick it, I would say. But these are blue cards, so... Maybe avoid the, like, triple blue things, like Archmage's Charm. But I think Commit to Memory is reasonable. It is a double blue on the memory. I didn't struggle at all with getting some amount of blue in play every single game, especially with all the mana rocks tapping for blue. But yeah, the fact that I'm thinking about cards like this should just go to show that I don't think Ruby Medallion was, like, a huge... like, punt to not run it. I don't necessarily think Ruby Medallion is something this wants to do. This is one of those commanders I think people are going to get caught up trying to storm off, which is probably possible, but trying to storm off instead of win with 15 Dark Rituals in the same turn, which I think is more of a thing with this commander. There are a lot of other commanders that can storm off blue-red a lot easier. Even the Otter Ral is probably a better way to go than this. Otter Ral doesn't have to play Universal Automaton, so that has to count for something. But it's cool to have Helm of the Host in decks where it isn't just for Godo. But yeah, I like this. Way better than the last one. Way better than the last one. So it's a bit opposite of the Goat Commander, where I think the second deck was... It was more fun, but I think the first one was a little bit better. This is just better through and through. It did everything I was trying to pull off. It had things going on that I didn't even realize it could do, so that's also a plus. And with Limitless Rekindling, I'm never going to pay attention to all the options this could make. I don't think it shows you. You could go and look. If this is your only win condition in a game and you have infinite red and you have to loop this enough times till you think it's lethal, good luck. You know, good luck. Hopefully your opponent concedes, because Limitless Rekindling for 25, you're both gonna be there for a while you sit there and read draft fillers. But who knows? It probably pulls you so far ahead that you could just grab whatever and maybe win with it. It is a funny card. It is a funny card, but there is like a more direct win with like the Storm Drake that like makes more of itself. It is a creature though, it's a little bit different. But with what is it? Cavalier, you could give all of those dragons haste. You would need both cards at the same time, but there you go. That's something to think about. But I liked it. Really cool deck. Can't go wrong with more mana rocks. Definitely can't go wrong. I don't know if Commit to Memory is the right thing, but it's here. Midnight Clock is also viable. You could just Rite of Flame spam it. All you need is just a blue source each time. But I don't know. Pretty cool. So let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.